Good afternoon, Rachel. How are you?
Oh, hi, Ellen. Good, thank you. How are you?
Really well, thank you.
That's good. What's up? What can I help you with today?
Thank you for
Yeah.
talking about our target group that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Now I'd like to have a conversation with you about my completed assessment tool that I've conducted
Yeah.
and compiled. I just want to draw in your insight and perspective, if possible, on the information that I've provided to you. So I've provided to you my assessment tool, which is documented, and also an 8 question and answer written assessment as well to
Yeah.
cover off on working with diverse people.
Oh, great. No worries. Okay, well, let's have a look at those then. Did you just want to get some ideas, some feedback on it?
Yeah, yes, please. Just your perspective and insight onto what your thoughts were with the assessment tools that I've created. And what I'll do is I'll take some bullet points and some dot points,
Yeah.
and take that on as feedback.
Okay, great. Yeah, no worries. Okay, well, I mean, what are we doing? The working with diverse people. And it's to the staff of the MECC. Well, I guess the question is, how are you going to get them to engage with you when you have a chat with them, go through the material and stuff?
Yeah.
I guess you could probably. This has been quite effective for me in the past for particularly dry subject matter. But if you bring this is going to sound quite silly, but it does work for everybody. If you bring a packet of minties with you and hand out a minty at the start for everybody who, not at the start, I should say, for everyone who answers a question while you're going through the material, that might be good to get them to engage with you.
Yeah.
That's just one suggestion. What else? Let's have a look. Okay, so I can see you've developed your written assessment. What are you going to do if someone has to go home sick or can't attend this assessment?
Yeah. So if someone has to go home during the assessment, what I would do is I won't penalise them. I understand that they're experiencing a situation of sickness or a situation that's outside of their control.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would stop their assessment right there.
Yeah.
I'll either get them to come back tomorrow to complete the assessment, or in saying that they're sick. So when they're feeling better,
Yeah.
I'm not going to expect them to come back. If they're still sick.
Yeah.
So once they're feeling okay, I'll get them to come back in. They can finish off the questions that they couldn't finish.
Yeah.
If they know that they're going to be absent during assessment time or preloading to assessment time, what I would do is I can send it to them in an email.
Yeah.
And to ensure that they're not going to be, how would I say it, Googling and copying off the internet to try and get their answers. That's that integrity that I put on all the students and all the learners to ensure that they're staying truthful to themselves and also following the guidelines as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm just reading through your questions, and to be honest, there's only a couple that they would be able to Google, right? But the rest of it is like describe in your own words and what is your opinion on. So I think, you could just email anybody who does end up missing the assessment, or even have like a phone consult, a one-on-one, with them to go through the material.
Yeah.
That could just be one option for you.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, everything else looks quite good.
Yeah.
I don't see any issues with it. So yeah, good job, Owen. That's great. Well done.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think I've done a pretty good job. The learning that I do is face-to-face learning, but it's also facilitated learning.
Yeah.
I've got slides up as well, so people can be able to see information for visual learners, and then me actually communicating and speaking is sending a message to the auditory learners, so people that are able to absorb the sound and then rewrite that into their own notes. So kind of like listening to a lecture.
Yeah.
And so people are able to engage off that information that they've taken from my lectures and from the information provided, and also handouts as well.
Yeah.
So they've also got that information throughout the time of the course. So there's many different vessels that these students are able to obtain that information, process and absorb that information, and when it comes time to assessment, there's not too many questions that are involved. It's not too much of a difficult test. I'm not asking for a 4-page essay for every answer. They're just very short, sharp, and quick answers that are prompting the processing information and providing that evidence, so that way I can actually assess them when it comes to assessment time, and I know that they've provided the evidence to seek a satisfactory mark.
Good work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your input.
Yeah, no dramas. Happy to help.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks, Owen.